Slappy hands. Slappy hands. Can you slap your hands? Yeah! Look at that.
Whoa, you never know. Let's step off the tightrope.
Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Fallon, and today we're gonna do my labor and delivery story with a special guest, and not just this special guest, but with Brett! That's Brett.
Did I miss something?
I did a second intro for the labor and delivery.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, puppet.
So, labor and delivery, eh?
Hey, mate.
I-
Well, your due
I was
date
due May 22nd, and she was born May 19th. And basically, I think I went into labor, so that was a Friday, and I think I went into labor starting Wednesday, but the doctors just counted it from when my water broke, which was on Friday. But on Wednesday night, I started feeling contractions, and
Same.
yeah, he did too, apparently. And they were really light, and the next morning, Thursday morning, I had a doctor's appointment, and they're like, oh, it's probably Braxton Hicks. And then they continued. They never stopped from Wednesday through to when she was born. They just kept getting more and more intense. Okay, yep. That's fun. So they never stopped until after she was born, you know, they just kept getting more and more intense. And so I think I started Wednesday, they said, from when my water broke. But if you count from when my water broke, my labor was about 6 hours and 43 minutes, I think. But like I said, I think I went into labor Wednesday. So, but we will fast forward to Thursday evening. So Thursday evening, I knew for sure, like, she was coming. I remember we were watching TV, and I was trying to time contractions, but they weren't consistent enough. And we went to bed, and I couldn't really sleep that night. I kept waking up, and the contractions kept getting more and more. And then around 4 a.m., I got up, and I told him, I was like, hey, I think this is the actual real thing. Just so you know, I'm going to be up, but you can stay sleeping.
Don't remember any of that.
You don't?
No, not really.
Oh, well, I do. I was like, you can stay sleeping, but I'll wake you up when I think we need to, like, leave or get closer to leaving. And so at 4 a.m. I got up, I started doing the dishes, I cleaned up, like, the place, because I was trying to kill time. And then at 6:15, I was doing dishes and my water broke.
And are you in the bathroom? No, I was in the kitchen. Okay.
I yelled at him and I said, hey, my water broke, wake up. And
He's like, cool.
Yep, he woke up. No, you woke up right away. And I told him just to get ready and that I was going to shower. So then I went to the bathroom and I called the doctor and I said, hey, my water broke, we're coming in, but I'm going to shower first. So I hopped in the shower, got out, and then we left and we got to the hospital. It was like a 20-minute drive. I think we got there at like 7.
Just after 7.
Just after 7, yeah. They admitted us, and we went upstairs, and they started monitoring. They started monitoring the baby, and they had me all hooked up, and I was laying down. And when they wrapped the little heart monitor around my belly, I got so nauseous from it. Oh my goodness.
It was pretty tight.
It was so tight, and I just felt like I was gonna throw up. And they monitored it for a half hour, and then they took it off and they allowed me to walk around. And as soon as they took it off, I was 100% better, not nauseous at all. Still having contractions, don't get me wrong, but I wasn't nauseous. So then we were walking around to try and progress things. I think when I was admitted to the hospital, I was 3 centimeters, right?
Something like that, 2.5, I think.
Yeah, I had been like a 0.5 centimeter to 1 centimeter the few days prior. I remember that. And so then, yeah, so I was like 2.5 centimeters when they admitted me, so not that dilated. But again, my water had already broke. So we walked around the hospital for, how long would you say that was?
15 minutes.
Yeah,
roughly.
about
Just
15
under.
minutes, which felt like forever to me.
30 years.
Yeah, oh my goodness. Then we get back to the room and the doctor was there, who wasn't the doctor I'd been seeing, it was just the doctor on call. And he said, you know, we were going over my birth plan, and I had wanted an epidural. And this point, my contractions to me were really, really bad, and I was ready for that epidural. And he was like, no, this is your first baby, it's gonna take a long time, it's gonna be a while for you to progress. We just want you to progress as much as you can without the epidural. And he's like, when you feel like you can't stand it and you feel like you can't talk through the contractions, then we'll give you an epidural. And I remember I looked at him and I said, that's now. Do you remember that? I was like, I don't think I can take this anymore. I'm like, I can't imagine hours of this. I need the epidural now. And he was like, well, they had a little birthing hot tub jacuzzi tub area. And he was like, why don't you get in the jacuzzi tub and breathe, and that'll help with the pain. And while you're in there, we'll sign your epidural papers. And then when you get out, we can, hopefully the guy will be here and we can give you the epidural then. So I'm like, okay, sounds good. As much as I didn't want to because I was in a lot of pain, I was like, whatever, I'll try it. So they didn't check me in between that period of time, right?
I thought the doctor did.
No, I don't think he ever did.
Oh, maybe not then.
Yeah, he never checked me. Only the nurse did that one time.
Gotcha.
So only the nurse checked me when I first got in there, but the doctor never checked me or anything. And then I get in the jacuzzi tub and I'm in there for a good amount of time. How long was I in there?
Another 20?
I'd say 20 to 30 minutes.
I don't know, maybe.
It felt like forever again, and I also really did not want to get out of the jacuzzi tub because that helped so much with the pain. And so we're in there, and they brought the paperwork, I signed it, and I get up. Whoa! Or she tells me it's time to get out of the jacuzzi tub, and I kind of, like, as I'm about to get out of the jacuzzi tub, I got a contraction, so we waited. And I kind of was like, man, I almost felt like I had to push. But I didn't say anything because I was scared. And so we get out of the jacuzzi tub, and I went to the bathroom because they wanted me to go to the bathroom before the epidural. So I went to the bathroom, and I had another contraction, and I felt like I was going to push. And the nurse kind of saw my face, but I think she kind of was just like, oh, maybe she's just going to the bathroom or something. I don't know. And so then I came back to the bed, and right when I was getting to the bed, I had another contraction where I thought I was going to push, and that's when the nurse said, are you pushing right now? And I said, I think so. I was like, yes, I feel like I have to push. And she was like, don't push. And I was like, I have no control over it. So then she was like, I'm going to check you. So she checks me, and Revy's head was right there. She was right there. And the nurse, she looks at me and she goes, this baby's coming now, honey. And she's like, you are not getting an epidural.
I'm so scared.
I'm so scared.
So the second she said, you're not getting an epidural, I turned to Brett and I said, babe, I'm so scared. Which he thought was the funniest thing.
I'm so scared.
Because mentally I was so prepared for the epidural, and I was so scared to not have an epidural and for that pain. I was not prepared for it. And so I just was terrified. I was so scared. And the good news is my nurse was absolutely phenomenal. I loved her. She was an incredible nurse, and she helped me through everything. They pulled the table down so it looked like an actual like hospital giving birth table, not just a comfy bed. And then we started working through the contractions. What were you thinking at this moment?
Give her water, help her breathe.
Yeah.
So she's like, you just keep giving her water when she wants it. So I'm just standing there holding your little water bottle, like, drink, drink, drink.
Yeah. Were you scared at all? What were you feeling?
I was excited,
Yeah.
but I wasn't scared. It was a little weird,
Yeah.
like at times, but it wasn't anything that was like, oh my goodness, like, what am I doing?
So apparently I was the only scared one. And
Well, I knew I couldn't really mess up, so.
yeah, this is true.
Worst case scenario, you don't get water during one free break
Yeah.
from contractions.
And so, yeah, so I was having contractions. We started pushing, and I pushed for how long?
I don't know.
I think I started pushing at 12.
I think it was just under an hour, yeah.
Yeah, it was just under an hour. I started pushing around 12. And boy, is that an experience. Yeah, I started pushing right around 12, and the nurse was coaching me. And then at 12:43, she was born, and she immediately started crying, so that was awesome when they put her on my chest. But then she stayed crying. Do you remember this?
Mm-hmm.
For like, what was it, an hour?
Hour, so
She
a long
stayed
time.
crying for a long time. The nurses and doctors were like, man, she's a crier.
Like, oh no.
Yeah, so I guess her name suits her. When they put her to measure her and everything on the table, she tried to roll over, which was just so funny and crazy. But she was so healthy, and everything was good. I only had a small tear, so I think it was like 2 stitches. It was tiny. And that was the only problem that I had, which wasn't even a problem. They did monitor me because I was pretty anemic. Whoa, bless you. They monitored me for a while, but there weren't any issues. There weren't any issues. And we were in the hospital for, just a little over 24 hours. We got to go home pretty much right away. And it was awesome. I think my favorite part, besides having a baby, so besides having this precious angel who's pulling my hair, was the food I got right after having her.
You ordered so much, too.
I ordered so much food. I was so
So
hungry.
much went to waste, but it was
Yeah.
so good.
It was so good. I was so hungry, but
I
I
take
think that
12
was.
bacon, 12 eggs, 12 toast.
I got
want
crepes, I got
crepes,
pancakes, I got
pancakes,
so many things, but it was
cinnamon
the
rolls.
best meal of my life. The one thing was I was so scared, but after she was born, all I can say is I probably will never have an epidural. I'm really, it's so empowering for a woman having a baby, and to do it without an epidural was just the craziest experience. Without an epidural, with planning an epidural, was just the craziest experience, and very, I don't know, it just makes you feel so strong and awesome. Just if it's another awesome labor and delivery like I had with Revy, then I don't want an epidural. And I'm so thankful with how good my labor and delivery was with her. It was quick, it was fairly painless. I'd say the most painful part was the contractions. Actually pushing her out wasn't that bad. It wasn't amazing. It was definitely uncomfortable, but the contractions were more painful. And that's how little Miss Reveille Violet was born. And in a month, she will be a year old. Anywhoosies. see you on Friday. Can you say bye-bye?
Bye.
Good job.